With us for WUSA 9 News at 5:30. Right now, another vote is scheduled in the Senate to end this government shutdown. Lawmakers, by the way, are considering the same two bills that were voted down multiple times last week. Both would fund the government for a few more weeks, buying lawmakers more time to compromise on a long-term solution.
I might want to try changing that up a little bit. Tonight, a brand new CBS News poll with YouGov shows who Americans blame for this shutdown. 39% believe President Trump and congressional Republicans are at fault. 30% blame Democrats, and 31% say both parties are equally at fault. Now, we know the federal shutdown is hurting hundreds of thousands of our friends and neighbors here in the DMV.
Yeah, and WUSA 9 wants to answer your questions that you have about the impacts to help us all get through what we're experiencing right now. Our Chief Investigative Reporter, Flack, is taking those questions and getting you some answers.
And Flack, you got a question about why government contractors don't get back pay like federal workers do once the shutdown ends.
Yeah, Leslie, this is interesting because it's especially important since there are actually more federal contractors than full-time federal workers. Congress has insured all 750,000 furloughed federal workers and hundreds of thousands of essential employees working right now without pay will receive back pay once this shutdown ends. But that protection does not extend to government contractors, and there are millions of them working everything from security to IT support to janitorial services. The reason comes down to how contractors get paid. They work for private companies that have contracts with the federal government and not with the government directly. So those contracts typically pay for work completed. So if a shutdown prevents that work from happening, there is no payment. Congress will have the option to pass legislation to provide back pay to contractors once the shutdown ends, but it actually rarely does. During the 35-day shutdown in 2018-2019, lawmakers approved limited back pay, but only for the lowest wage contractors. That leaves many contract workers struggling to cover rent, groceries, and bills during shutdown with little hope of recovering that lost income. Guys, federal contractor spending is actually more than double the amount of the government spending on full-time federal employees. So that just gives you an idea of how many people out there are impacted by these government contracts.
I just did like a quick search here, just asking about the people who clean the U.S. Capitol and whether they are federal workers. And it turns out most of them are generally contract workers, not federal employees, which would mean the very people who are making it possible for them to not pass something have to do this and potentially may not get that money back.
Yes,
Eric?
every day counts.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see if Congress, once this shutdown ends, takes any steps to address that kind of huge kind of loophole for all these workers that aren't, as of now, going to get back pay as this shutdown drags on.
Yeah, it gets worse with each and every day.
Those consequences.
Yeah. All right, Flack, thank you.